Chuck Carstensen, Course in Miracles number 48. And I'm going to continue and slightly correct my message from the previous day, previous episode, Course in Miracles number 47, where I was talking from the meaning of miracles, point 22 on the darkness part. When I watched it, I seemed to be focused on the darkness, which is a very good lesson for everybody. Um, what the darkness creates actually is it prevents the healing because that's what we're focused on. We're focused on the things of the world that aren't working. And I noticed I was like stumbling through that and probably made no sense, which is totally okay. A lot of times I do these videos live or I record them and then I don't edit them. Hey, that's what I'm going with. So, and that correction is what the darkness sometimes can seem to hide is the light, the truth, the atonement, the altar, the automatic forgiveness, the automatic healing. Because, like, well, I see all this destruction, all this mayhem, all this challenge around me, and that's what we're looking at and focused on, which keeps us from the light, from the healing. So, how I mentioned a few episodes ago, how I studied the Course in Miracles, what I'm basically doing is I'm reviewing the previous day, whatever I read. I'm in like chapter 27 now, reading, but then when I do a morning walk on the treadmill, very slow, just to kind of keep some movement going, um, is I'm listening starting from the beginning. So I'm in like chapter 2 and 3 on the listening of the healing, and it really ties it all together. And where I'm at in chapter 27 on the reading, and with some of my struggles that aren't physically healed yet, is really it's saying that our physical healing comes from us holding back some of that forgiveness, meaning forgiveness hasn't been natural. And obviously, when you're holding back, you're lacking some spiritual sight. And one of my healings is the eye. It has been struggling lately after my eye surgery several months ago. And it is getting better again the last couple of days, but it's been a little bit up and down. And that physical, kind of like almost blindness. It was a blind spot before I had the eye surgery, if you go back to all the episodes. And then it's just been struggling lately, is the fact that healing, forgiveness still is a natural. And you might be like, wow, what's your problem? It's everybody's problem. Most of us are in darkness on it. And we're looking at the darkness. That's really the point in the correction, where the light, for the most part, the light, the truth, does the quote unquote work for us. We just have to give over to the light. We can't see the light normally because, like, well, that's different than the world. The way of doing things in the world is different than the spiritual way of doing things. And we first have to become that awareness that we can just give it over to the light, the Holy Spirit, for the correction. We don't have to go around correcting somebody else. And a lot of times the correction needed is in ourself. But what happens, the true healing and how the Course works, explains it, how truth works, is the healings for both of us. And what I mean by both of us, you might hold something against, let's call another person your brother. I don't hold anything against my brother, my real brother, but let's say we're all brothers and we're holding something against our brother. Well, that holdback creates the sickness, the disease. And the disease isn't always a disease or a sickness. It's whatever that's a challenge, that's your darkness. And that seems to continue on, but the light can take care of it and remove it instantly or over a course of time. I can't get into everybody's situation or scenarios on this, but I can speak for me. So any of the holdback here, what I'm realizing, what I'm experiencing now is the fact that I'm still withholding that little bit of forgiveness. And I'm not trying to do it. I feel like I let everything go every day and I say prayers, but then stuff comes to mind. And it's like, oh yeah, I am still holding something back, not intentionally, like literally unintentionally. So it's then I have to take that and remember that I am not to make the correction. I'm to bring it to the light. The light can make the correction, and the correction needs to be done in me, but also there's other brothers out there or sisters, if you want to go brothers and sisters, but I'm not talking about my brother and sister. I'm talking about somebody I may know, somebody I may not know, somebody I might encounter for 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours, or I've known for, 3 lifetimes or whatever it is. And there's something held back that both of us could be released from if we weren't still in the darkness and saw the light of truth. So the healing comes from truly forgiving naturally, which kind of what we talked about last episode, without any holding back, like, I'm just going to have pity on them and forgive them, or, well, I need the forgiveness for me, but I hope they still burn in hell or whatever. That's not what it's talking about. So that's a slight correction, maybe an expansion of what I talked about in the lesson 47 and the meaning of miracles, and kind of tying it together a little bit more for you today. I can almost guarantee if you watch this video or listen to it now, you're going through something where something happened, or you did something to somebody, or they did something to you. And when it comes to your mind, it still has meaning. It still has some holding back. And the Course of Miracles, and what I'm understanding from my own situations that I don't have the healing, is I'm still holding it. You got to let it go 100%. Never happened, has no meaning at all. So have a blessed day. Have a blessed weekend. Hope that helps you. And we'll be back soon.